Well, it looks like the current headlines in boxing are transitioning from the core of the sport to entertainment. From Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul, Manny Pacquiao fighting a Japanese kid, to Ryan Garcia now already preparing for a fight with the same opponent, the trending headlines around boxing just seem to be focused on entertainment, and there's no denying. The fact is, Ryan Garcia will be facing Rukiya Anpo on December 30th in Japan, and while many of Garcia's fans are excited, the hardcore boxing pros do not seem impressed.
And you have the audacity to miss weight, drink beer and wait, and I feel that's very disrespectful. I don't understand why you're saying you can't miss weight.
Fake king, you know?
You're the fake king.
David Benavidez had a lot to say about Ryan Garcia's approach to his upcoming fight with Rukiya Anpo, and he didn't hold back his thoughts. To Benavidez, Garcia's claim that he's defending Manny Pacquiao's honor after Ampo's July 2024 exhibition match against the Filipino icon is little more than a distraction. He believes Garcia is using Pacquiao's name to generate talk and justify his actions instead of admitting the fight is about personal glory and staying relevant in the spotlight. During the exhibition with Anpo, Pacquiao, who is 45 years old and long retired, took a series of heavy shots from the younger, sharper kickboxer.
And we'll see. I mean, you're not good, but I'm gonna whoop you and knock you out in front of the world. You're just big. That's it. You got big ass shoes on. I'm gonna knock you out. You got a stupid chain on. I'm gonna knock you out, bro. This you may think this is Hollywood, but there's nothing fake about this. You're gonna get knocked out, and you're gonna see who the king is.
Many fans criticized Anpo for being overly aggressive, especially since exhibitions are usually light-hearted events. Garcia sees this criticism and framed Anpo's actions as a lack of respect for Pacquiao's legacy, but Benavidez isn't buying it. This is just another clout move, he said, adding that younger fighters in the social media era often drum up unnecessary drama to boost their profiles.
Sean Schilling.
For Benavidez, these actions overshadow the sport's competitive spirit and real rivalries. Pacquiao, a legend with titles in 8 weight classes, doesn't need anyone fighting for his legacy, he argued. Yet Garcia's camp insists that his fight with Anpo is about teaching respect and protecting Pacquiao's reputation, a statement that just shows that it's a clever promotional angle.
Good, man. I'm excited. It's been a long time. I feel it's like much longer than it has been. I mean, last time I fought was in April, but I guess I was just bored in this little time off. So I'm excited to take on the challenge with this guy. He's bigger than me. He is a kickboxer, but he got some skills. So.
But the criticism doesn't end there. Devin Haney's concerns about this exhibition go even deeper. Haney has questioned the fight's legitimacy on multiple fronts, pointing out that Garcia is still serving a suspension for failing a pee test earlier this year. Garcia tested positive for Ostarine, a banned substance used to build lean muscle and increase stamina. Though his suspension prevents him from competing in sanctioned bouts, it doesn't stop him from participating in exhibitions. This loophole allows Garcia to not only stay active but also earn money while technically serving his punishment. For Haney, this undermines the entire purpose of a PED ban.
Hello, Ryan Garcia here. My announcement is this. I'm headed to Japan. Headed to Japan because
Boxing's rules around PED violations are already under scrutiny, and Haney feels Garcia's ability to exploit the system sends the wrong message. And with Haney talking, it was only a matter of time before his father had something to say. Bill Haney has been even more critical. He argued that Garcia, a young and experienced professional boxer, is putting Anpo at significant risk in a boxing-only exhibition. Anpo is not a pro boxer. He doesn't have the same skill set or preparation. It's dangerous, Bill Haney said in a recent interview.
Who do you want to see Ryan against next? Rematch with Tank?
What? He needs to get a rematch with my man. When he got hit in the rear.
Tank. Gervonta Davis.
Yeah. That's what he got to do. I'm being the very best, going back, getting the guy that got you.
The elder Haney also hinted that Garcia might still be benefiting from PED use, considering his history and the timing of this fight. This raises serious questions about fairness and fighter safety, especially since Anpo will be fighting outside his comfort zone under strict boxing rules. Evander Holyfield, the legendary figure in boxing, has his own perspective on this fight, and he's not impressed either. Holyfield pointed out that exhibition bouts like these are often more about entertainment than genuine competition. In this case, Garcia, a 2-4-1 professional boxer, is going up against Anpo, whose background is in K1 kickboxing. While Anpo has a strong resume in his sport, including titles and awards for his knockout power, he's stepping into unfamiliar territory. The fight will be contested strictly under boxing rules, eliminating Anpo's ability to use kicks or grappling, key elements of his usual style. Holyfield believes this creates a lopsided dynamic that heavily favors Garcia. These fights aren't about testing skill, they're about putting on a show, he said. Anpo's confidence in his speed, power, and size might give him an edge in kickboxing, but under boxing rules, Garcia's technical expertise and experience will likely dominate. Holyfield also highlighted how mismatches like this hurt the sport's reputation, as they blur the line between serious competition and spectacle. For fans who love boxing for its purity and tradition, such bouts can feel like a betrayal.
Damn, let's go. Let me get down there. Yeah, up. Go. That's your failure. Come on, one more. You got one more, Randy. You got.
Interestingly, Anpo has not backed down from the challenge despite the odds being stacked against him. He has vowed to make the fight competitive and has dismissed criticisms about his lack of boxing experience. In his view, Garcia's motives are clear. Garcia wants to assert his dominance after a tough year marked by controversy and a suspension. Anpo's aggressive showing against Pacquiao earlier this year showed he could adapt to boxing rules, at least to some extent. However, many believe Garcia's precision, hand speed, and ring IQ will prove too much for Anpo, who has spent most of his career in a different combat sport.
Ryan will sit out for a year. My worry with Ryan is what happens in that year. I don't think it's this carbon copy of I'll chill out and I'll start training in 9 months and I'll see you in a year. He's going to have to deal with a lot of shit along the way now, and I worry for him. And I think Devin might end up sitting out, to be honest with you.
However, there are still some people expressing concern for Ryan Garcia, and the loudest voice has been Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's concerns about Ryan Garcia's mental stability are not without merit. Over the years, Garcia has presented himself as a fighter with undeniable talent, but also a tendency for erratic behavior. This duality became particularly evident after his statements about microchips and food allegedly designed to harm him. While many dismissed this as paranoia, others saw it as a possible cry for help. Garcia has been open about his struggles with anxiety and depression, even stepping away from boxing in 2021 to focus on his mental health. However, his return has been marked by mixed signals about his priorities and focus.
Ryan, you've been open about your mental health struggles.
Yes, I've talked about
which
it.
is rare for a fighter or any professional athlete.
I don't even know if I was the first one, but I was the first one publicly to say it.
I think you're the first one to publicly do it, yeah.
What was going down?
I had panic attacks, and my anxiety just got to levels where I couldn't handle it.
For Hearn, these issues extend beyond personal well-being. They influence Garcia's professional choices and the consistency of his career. Fighters at Garcia's level are expected to maintain rigorous discipline and a laser-focused commitment to the sport. Yet Garcia's unpredictable public persona, from his flashy social media presence to his polarizing statements, raises doubts about whether he views boxing as a long-term career or simply a stepping stone to greater fame. With over 10 million Instagram followers, Garcia operates in a highly visible space, and this constant pressure might exacerbate his vulnerabilities. Fighters like Tyson Fury and Danny Garcia have spoken about the toll mental health challenges take, but for Ryan, the narrative often becomes overshadowed by his online antics.
Anthony Joshua, what's good, bro? I see you in the ring. Watch. Heavyweight, I'm on your ass. And I wouldn't be the smallest heavyweight of all time. I want AJ. I want AJ.
Eddie Hearn's concern stems from the disconnect between Garcia's immense potential and his unpredictable actions. This is a young man with everything to lose, Hearn has implied, pointing to his skills, marketability, and potential legacy. But if Garcia doesn't stabilize his focus, his mental health challenges may derail his career at its peak. For now, his unpredictable public persona keeps fans and critics guessing about what comes next. Anthony Joshua has joined a chorus of voices criticizing the Ryan Garcia-Rukiya Anpo fight, viewing it as a clear cash grab rather than a serious athletic contest. Joshua, a heavyweight champion and advocate for boxing integrity, sees such spectacles as indicative of a troubling trend in the sport. These events often prioritize entertainment value and revenue generation over competition. The point of a suspension is to keep a fighter out of action, not to let him find loopholes, Joshua remarked, referencing Garcia's ability to stage this exhibition despite his PED ban. Joshua's words strike at the heart of a growing concern in boxing: the commercialization of the sport. In recent years, crossover and exhibition fights have gained popularity, largely because they draw massive pay-per-view audiences. The fight between Floyd Mayweather and YouTuber Logan Paul exemplified this trend, earning millions despite being widely criticized as a farce. Similarly, the Garcia-Anpo bout is seen as a way for both fighters to benefit financially and grow their profiles rather than a legitimate sporting contest. From Garcia's perspective, the fight offers a chance to stay relevant while serving his suspension. With his record of 2-4-1 and a massive fan base, Garcia remains a marketable figure even without official bouts. For Io, the fight is an opportunity to break into the international spotlight. Although a star in K1 kickboxing, Io has limited exposure in the global boxing scene. Critics argue this dynamic devalues the essence of boxing, as these exhibitions often lack the competitive integrity of traditional fights. Rukiya Anpo's decision to transition from K1 kickboxing to a boxing exhibition against Ryan Garcia has sparked heated debates among combat sports fans. Anpo, a decorated kickboxer with titles such as Fight of the Year under his belt, is stepping into unfamiliar territory. While some admire his courage, others view this move as opportunistic, aimed at leveraging Garcia's fame for personal gain rather than advancing his kickboxing legacy. In the world of K1, Anpo has established himself as a dominant figure known for his lightning-fast strikes and knockout power. However, the transition to boxing requires an entirely different skill set. Boxing removes Anpo's most potent weapons, his legs, and forces him to rely solely on hand techniques. Critics argue this puts him at a disadvantage, especially against someone like Garcia, who has years of experience in boxing and a polished skill set. By stepping into the boxing ring, he risks tarnishing his reputation if the fight ends in a one-sided defeat. Combat sports fans are often unforgiving when athletes venture into other disciplines and fail to meet expectations.
Face off over here. That was good. You know I'm good at it.
The memory of Conor McGregor's loss to Floyd Mayweather is still there, serving as a warning for fighters considering crossover bouts. McGregor's foray into boxing was lucrative, but ultimately did little to enhance his legacy in MMA. On the other hand, Anpo supporters argue that this transition is a bold move reflecting his willingness to take risks and expand his horizons. They point out that fighters often face criticism when staying within their comfort zones. For Anpo, the Garcia fight represents a chance to prove his versatility and compete on a global stage. However, the odds are not in his favor, as the fight's boxing only rules limit his strengths and tilt the contest in Garcia's favor.
I like Jake. That's it.
You think he's doing a good job?
Yes.
What do you think about the Tyson fight that he just announced?
That's awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. Try to fight Tyson. If he knocks you out, but at least you fought Tyson. That's cool.
Anpo's decision ultimately underscores the growing trend of crossover bouts in combat sports. While they generate excitement and revenue, these events also blur the lines between genuine competition and spectacle. For Anpo, the outcome of this fight will shape not only his career trajectory but also how fans view his legacy in the years to come. But it gets even more interesting. Ryan Garcia's vocal ambition to fight Jake Paul after his bout with Rukiya Anpo has stirred controversy in the boxing world. Critics argue that this focus diminishes the significance of the Anpo exhibition, reducing it to a mere stepping stone toward a potentially more lucrative and publicized fight. Jake Paul, a divisive figure in combat sports, has built a career blending boxing with entertainment, attracting both die-hard fans and detractors. To many, Garcia's pursuit of Paul reflects a shift away from his identity as a serious professional fighter.
Ryan Garcia. He said, I'm tired of this. I'm stopping this shit, and it's my fault I started his boxing career. I should have never.
You should have got up off the floor when you got hit with a widow body shot, buddy.
Damn.
You fucking little pussy. Hey, why not just go?
Jake Paul's influence in boxing cannot be ignored. With fights against names like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, Paul has carved a niche for himself by competing against aging MMA fighters and fellow influencers. Each of his bouts generates millions of dollars in revenue, drawing a demographic that blends traditional boxing fans with casual viewers intrigued by his social media fame. This crossover appeal makes a fight between Garcia and Paul a financial goldmine. However, critics question how much such a match would contribute to Garcia's credibility. For Garcia, the allure of a Paul fight is obvious. A win over Paul, who lacks a professional boxing pedigree, would be easy money while keeping Garcia in the headlines. However, some argue this approach undermines his potential to solidify his legacy among the sport's elite. As a former lightweight interim champion with a record of 2-4-1, Garcia is expected to aim higher, targeting skilled opponents who would test and elevate his abilities. Instead, the pursuit of Paul suggests Garcia might be prioritizing fame over the integrity of his career. This fixation with Paul could also overshadow the Anpo fight in practical ways. Critics point out that if Garcia already views Anpo as a stepping stone, it risks a lack of focus, potentially leading to an upset. While Anpo is not a boxer by trade, he is a skilled combat athlete capable of capitalizing on any complacency from Garcia. This dynamic makes the Anpo fight more intriguing as it carries an underlying tension. Garcia must deliver a dominant performance to justify a future bout with Paul. Still, many wonder if this strategy risks reducing Garcia to another entertainer rather than the next great boxer.
Everybody, I'm just here to show you I didn't miss a beat. Watch this shit. Let's play. Jab first.
Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia's former promoter, has taken a supportive stance on the Garcia-Io fight, suggesting it could serve as a crucial stepping stone for Garcia. For De La Hoya, the bout is not just about keeping Garcia active, but also about building his confidence as he prepares for bigger challenges down the line. De La Hoya acknowledged that Garcia has faced criticism in recent months, from his PED suspension to doubts about his mental focus. A win over Io, he argues, could re-establish Garcia's momentum and prove he is ready to take on higher-level competition. De La Hoya also sees financial upside in this match for both fighters. Garcia's massive fan base guarantees significant pay-per-view sales, while Io, who is relatively unknown in the boxing world, gains exposure to a global audience. For Io, the fight represents an opportunity to showcase his adaptability and resilience. De La Hoya added that the fight is fair, pointing to Io's performance against Manny Pacquiao earlier this year. Although Pacquiao was far past his prime at 45, De La Hoya noted that he remains a skilled and experienced fighter. Io managed to go the distance with the boxing legend, suggesting he is no pushover. De La Hoya's perspective also highlights the entertainment factor of the matchup. While traditionalists may question the legitimacy of exhibitions, casual fans are drawn to the unpredictability of cross-discipline contests. Io's striking ability and aggressive style provide an exciting contrast to Garcia's speed and precision. De La Hoya believes this stylistic clash will attract viewers and keep boxing relevant in an era where novelty fights dominate headlines. Ryan Garcia's career has frequently been dogged by questions surrounding his ability to manage weight, and the agreed-upon catch weight of 153 lbs for the Io fight has reignited this debate. Critics argue that Garcia's history of weight issues reflects a lack of discipline, and this exhibition does little to address those concerns. For some, the catch weight appears to be designed for Garcia's convenience rather than as a fair compromise for both fighters. Garcia's most notable weight controversy occurred in 2022 when he struggled to make the contracted limit for his scheduled fight with Devin Haney. Although Garcia eventually met the requirement, the incident fueled speculation about his long-term viability in weight-restricted divisions. Fighters who repeatedly fail to manage their weight risk damaging their reputations, as it suggests unprofessionalism and can create an even playing field. In this exhibition, the catch weight favors Garcia, who is accustomed to boxing rules and has a natural advantage in size and reach. Io, on the other hand, comes from a kickboxing background and has not had to contend with the rigorous weight-cutting practices common in boxing. Critics argue this disparity makes the fight less competitive, as it further tilts the odds in Garcia's favor. Weight controversies in boxing are not new. From Floyd Mayweather's strategic use of catch weights to Canelo Alvarez's battles with the scale, weight management has often been a contentious topic. Garcia's situation, however, is unique because it combines questions of discipline with broader doubts about his focus on the sport. While a catch weight might make logistical sense for an exhibition, it does little to dispel the perception that Garcia is unwilling to put in the effort required to compete at the highest levels. Exhibitions are typically designed to entertain while minimizing physical risks, but the Garcia-Io fight has raised concerns about the potential for real injuries. Io has a reputation as a knockout artist. His bold pre-fight statements, including a vow to teach Garcia a lesson, have fueled speculation that this bout could escalate into something far more dangerous than a typical exhibition. For Garcia, the risks are twofold. First, there is the physical danger posed by Io's power and unpredictability. While Garcia is a skilled boxer, Io's background in a different combat sport could introduce unorthodox strategies that Garcia may not be prepared for.